The number one tactic that the narcissist or other disturbed person uses against their target, their victim, to alienate everybody in the victim's life from the victim is fake concern. The narcissist will pretend to be so concerned about the victim and how the victim is behaving. They'll say things like, I'm so concerned about this person because they've just not been acting on themselves lately. They've been doing really bizarre things. They're so depressed. I'm just so concerned. They're acting like they have a mental illness. And really, I think they need to get help. And so on. In reality, there's nothing wrong with the victim except that the victim's being tortured by the narcissist or other toxic person. And oftentimes, most of the time actually, the victim does not know what's going on. The victim doesn't understand that the reason that they are not feeling right, or that they know something is wrong, and they know that it has to do with how the narcissist is treating them, but it's very difficult to explain sometimes. The constant criticisms, the constant belittling, the constant disappointment in the victim's behavior, the constant negativity towards the victim in general, under the guise of being helpful, or, like, for example, criticizing, I'm just trying to help, I'm just trying to be helpful, when they attack the victim's very person, their everything about the victim. They'll attack their personality, they'll attack what they do, and just say, oh, I'm just trying to help you. No, you're not. They're not trying to help. They're trying to destroy. Then the narcissist will go and say to anybody who will listen, even complete strangers, I'm so concerned about the victim because they're just not themselves, and I'm really worried. And so now the victim falls under scrutiny of the people who the narcissist is telling these lies to. And the narcissist will make sure to provoke the victim so that the victim does act off around their friends and family or other people. So the other people who are don't know what's going on. They don't know the full picture. Hear the narcissist's words, oh, I'm so concerned about the victim. They see that the victim is acting a little bit off, and then they too start to be concerned. Not concerned, but they see that something's not quite right. And there's an odd phenomenon with people where the first information that someone hears about something is the information that generally tends to stick. So even if the victim says, no, I'm fine, really, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me, I just, I'm having some hard times lately with the narcissist, the people who have heard the information from the narcissist first have this cognitive dissonance going on. They see that the victim's not acting right. They see that the victim is denying that there's anything wrong. And then they have this, in the back of their mind, they have what the narcissist has been saying to them about how they're so concerned about the victim. So this sets up this psychological sort of brainwashing against not just the victim, but the people in the victim's lives who might otherwise be a support network for the victim, now are more easily turned against the victim because they think that there's something wrong with the victim and that the narcissist is correct, and they perhaps have some sort of problem that needs to be addressed, perhaps by even a mental health professional. Well, the only problem that the victim has is the narcissist or other toxic person. But for the victim to articulate this is often difficult because in the moment, there are no witnesses. There are no witnesses to the constant barrage of torture that the victim is receiving when no one else is around. So it's really hard to give a play-by-play or describe what has been going on with the victim to people who weren't there. But the narcissist is excellent at faking concern and saying they're so worried about the victim. And no, I don't know what I'm going to do. They're just not acting right. I think they need to go see a psychiatrist or something along those lines. And really, it's just a bunch of bullshit. So this is how the narcissist is able to alienate others away from the victim. And they do this on it's a constant, steady drip, drip, drip of poison about the victim to these other people. Either when the victim's right in front of, right there also, or more typically when the victim isn't around to defend themselves. So the bystanders hear this constant drip of negativity under the fake guise of concern. And so they start wondering, is there something wrong with the victim? And it's easy for the narcissist to just keep laying it on to alienate anyone in the victim's life away from the victim. The narcissist will even go so far as to try to talk to physicians, mental health professionals, if they are allowed to, and say negative things about the victim to these mental health professionals who, despite how much they know the victim, when it gets in their head, the negativity gets in their head, and it's very difficult to shake. It's a brainwashing technique, essentially. So if you have a toxic person or narcissist in your life, watch out for the fake concern. I'm so concerned. They're not concerned. They're concerned that they're losing control of the victim, typically. They're concerned that the victim is putting up boundaries or is not as controllable as they had been previously. So the narcissist starts this attack to regain control, because the narcissist is all about controlling every aspect of reality. If you have a narcissist or other toxic person in your life, your reality becomes not your own. The narcissist gets you to live in the reality that the narcissist wants, and your role in that reality is not going to be very good, because the narcissist has to be the dominant person in that reality. The narcissist has to be the all-powerful, all-knowing person in that narcissist world. And so you, as the victim or target, or whoever is the victim of the narcissist, gets designated a role that is always negative. It's always going to be negative, because they have to be better than. They have to be better in their warped perception of what's better. They always must be better than everybody else. It doesn't matter what they do or don't do. In their mind, they must be better, and they are better. They really do believe that they are better. And they really don't care the detrimental effect that their actions have. They know that it's going to have a detrimental effect, and that's why they do it. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what the weight that their words have on others, about the target, about the victim. That's why they say them. And if you try to confront the narcissist about this, they'll have some sort of deniability. They'll have some plausible deniability, which, I was just so concerned about you, which is a bunch of crap. They're not concerned about anybody but themselves. So watch out for this tactic. And if you see this happening to other people, or if it's happening to you, just understand that this is textbook. This tactic is their number one ploy to take down a target.